Mm, doo, doo. Eh,
Would I want the game on the side or not?
It's up to you, but I'll just show the games through my uh my
Okay,
screen.
like could we just jump into a PB to show things or something?
If we need to see it do anything like that, I can show you on like the Sundu planner. Let me just download all of these. Mm, doo, doo, doo. Paste. Copy. Okay, one more replay. And should be good. Download. Okay. Which games do we want to look at? We can try to go over, say, like 4 games. I feel like that's a good amount. This one. So the hammerhead or the manta one? Okay. Sure. Let's see. Okay. Let's just start from the top. All right. Oof. I do not like this map, Manta. Amazon Prime, that's crazy. Okay. Was this Sendo Q? Or like, okay. I was like, these guys are like mid-level. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's see here. Let me just look at your comp first. We have Dapples, we have Doolies, we have Wellstream, Dynamo. Okay. Okay. Mm, nice pick. Nice. Okay. Whoa, what happened there? Hold on. Okay, you guys get the Brella, and then oh, the Dynamo gets both of you. Okay, okay. I'm gonna just look through the game first, but I might actually highlight that wherever that was. Oh, nice. Oof, unfortunate. Okay. I'm assuming. Okay, before the game ends, let me start from the beginning so we don't have to. Nope, I meant to press A. Okay. Um, I feel like I won't have too much to say for this because like you guys are playing like higher level players. Uh, but let's break this down. Start over. Okay. Okay. I don't think your openings are bad, but it's a little awkward that you can kind of see that like all four of you guys are kind of in really similar areas in terms of like, hey, guess what? I can fit you guys in a zoomed in camera, right? It's not bad that you guys are there, but what happens is you guys kind of stay close together. And then what happens is like, okay, well, maybe if they get Trizuka, that's probably two down. Personally, I like to have like the anchor in bunker, and then like maybe a dually looking this way, and then the rest of you guys there. That's just to like get you guys spread out and not too close together to where a Trizuka shot can pick you off, but close enough to where you guys can still help each other when you're like initiating a fight. So like if someone pushes the guy by like the cut here, you still have the wall string or your anchor in bunker to like look at that. And then same thing, if someone tries to push the bunker, the person on cut can look at bunker, or like these two can see what's going on in bunker. So it's like a lot of it is gonna come down to like, okay, what's a spot that I can see the most area in? So I think if I go back to a POV, it might be easier to uh right. So like when I'm standing here, I can only see like this front area, right? I can't really see anything on that left side, or I don't really see anything on top. And as you go further forward, you're kind of like once you get to this right side, well, you have a lot more like sight lines, right? But the more you stay in that street area, uh, let me back up a little bit. The more you stay in the street area, the harder it is for you to get sight lines, right? This is very like I don't know exactly what's in my bunker or what's on my left side, right? And then what happens is the dually gets picked off, and then we're looking at what's in the bunker, and we kind of have to back off here, right? So just a general idea of positioning, at least at the beginning of a game, is like, okay, what spots give me places where I can see the most, right? Because once you see someone approaching or you see an opening where you want to go in for, then you can approach on that. And then, that usually goes further into just playing the game more. But yeah. So not a like terrible opening. Like again, they kind of had the sightlines over you guys, so it was a little tough. But you guys recovered pretty well for a bit. Uh, nice pick. We get that guy. Okay, this is where I wanted to look at. Do you guys notice something about both people camping the jumps?
Um, yeah.
So it's okay if you have two people camping jumps. Just try not to be on top of each other, because that's why the dynamo gets both of you. Because it's a dynamo, it gets one string. Ideally, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but they got a 2-for-1 trade. So just communicate that in comms and be like, "Oh, I'm camping the jump," or like, "I'll be on this side of the jump." You know, just small things that you might notice. Again, I'm not gonna be too hard on it because like it does happen. I've seen it, but yeah, just stuff like that. Try to be a little more careful if you're gonna camp a jump, or like this might not be something you guys pay attention to too much. But when people are super jumping in, you can see their names, and if you know the name of the player is like a certain type of weapon, so like if you saw the name and you knew it was a dynamo, you can be like, okay, I need to know how much to be spaced behind this jump so I don't get picked off with that one shot they eventually do get, compared to like maybe it's a shooter where like, you know, shooters take a bit of time to readjust their aim when they're jumping. So it's just small things like that, but again, not super important. Just keep that in mind. I do like where Luke is positioned for this defense, though. I really like the anchor being on that top right side, just because like you have some pretty good sight lines, and you can poke the tower from there with the well string. And this is good. Unfortunately, I think the dynamo gets someone. No, the squeezer gets someone. Okay. Alright, so I'm I'll try to get as much information here, but at least for this, right? The Zen is Zen here? I don't know if Zen's here.
No,
But
Zen's not here.
okay. But just in general here, right? You saw your teammate go down here, and it's a 3v1 situation. I would try to wait for my teammates to come back, right? On defense, it's really important to play either with numbers advantage or with equal numbers. Right now, you guys are in a 2v3. It looks like a 3v3, but someone just respawned, right? So when you're in that type of situation and they're pushing tower, it's very tough, right? You're like, "Oh, I have a good sideline on tower. I can pick off the tower. You know, I can make a play." But if I'm not sure if, actually I might go back to their POV to see what they see, cuz like usually when you try to make this play, it's because you see only one person on tower, or like no one's really. Yeah, you can see here like all three of them are on tower in this POV. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You see one jumping, you see one on tower, and then they put tactical on tower. Right? So going for this trade to stop tower wouldn't be too worth it either, just because they have tactical. But what happens here is it becomes a 2v1 because both of them are on tower. Right? So it's like you can kind of see the desperation play of like, hey, I can stop tower. But the smarter play you want to be trying to do on defense is just trying to wait for your numbers advantage or for people to respawn. So you see here, it's only 2 people live. It's a 2v3 situation. Not great on defense, right? And that's kind of what you want to keep in mind, right? We just go for this play. We get the trade, which is not bad, but then they have cooler, so they're going to come back faster. Right? And then it just leads to more of the stagger, right? You try to go for those plays. Okay, I went down. Try to go for another play. You go down again, right? So for defense, it's really important to be disciplined in terms of play for specials. I know it's lame, but you know, paint for your special. Wait for your teammates to come back. and then move in together as a team, right? That's something you want to keep in mind on defense. It's very hard to play defense when you're in numbers disadvantage. And you can kind of see it here, right? Oh, now it's a 3v2, and then right, it leads to more of that staggering. I don't know if this is like helpful for you guys, but that's the most I can get out of like. I want to say this is a curve stomp, but they were just playing very together, which is something you guys can notice in how they play it, right? Whenever they got a pick, they moved up together as a team, and you can try to think of how you can apply that for yourselves. Maybe there's more games to get off of that, but if it's a hard loss to a team, I'd also take time to like look at a game and being like, okay, what did they do well? How can we apply what they did? Unless they're trolling. Why is there an undercover umbrella?
They were trolling.
Oh my god. Well, it is Hammerhead Rainmaker, so I don't know. Why was this in the map list? Wait, hold on.
Because someone was Satan.
Uh
It's the battle I can come up with.
nice pop. Never mind. The undercover pick is kind of a genius play. You guys have double dualies. Wait a second.
Zen pointed that out, yeah.
Undercover has a pretty good matchup into like dualies, which is unfortunate. Okay. I'm not just. I won't comment too much on this game because they kind of just ran Rainmaker. I'll talk about the beginning because there's some stuff at the beginning you guys could try to apply. I don't know. Let's see. Start over, please. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up here. You guys will always win pop. You have a well string. Right. So that's something to keep in mind when you load into a game. You will always win pop.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that knowledge of we will always win pop, you just need to commit to it, right? Here is what happens when you get pop. Once you get pop, I would need you guys to start pushing forward, right? You can see here, all of mid is pretty much painted up for you. So if you push forward, you have space to move back in. And you guys try to do it, but then, you're kind of like moving left and right instead of moving forward. And right,
That's
so like,
mainly me, I think.
So like when you get pop for Rainmaker, the purpose of getting pop is to be aggressive, right? You get all that ink on in mid so you can move up, right? That's the purpose of pop. When you get pop, you ideally want to be moving forward and not moving backwards because you get that pin control. Does that kind of make sense when I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like once you get pop, you want to try to move as forward as you can while still having something to go back on, right? Which is just the ink from pop. I think it was unfortunate here because like the tent kind of just zones you guys out really well. Speaking of which, Welshing, very good into tent if you know the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like one shot makes like the tent shield almost gone.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, same thing here. You guys kind of like go in alone. You don't really have any numbers advantage yet, or even advantage here, right? So it's really important again to just keep in mind, hey, I can paint for my specials. I can do what I can to try to survive. It is Rainmaker though, so sometimes you don't have that time. But if there's a lot of space between the Rainmaker and a knockout, I try to just take as much time as I can to just wait for teammates to respawn and then try to paint for your own specials to just try to stop a push specifically. Uh, yeah, that's just general defense for you, but that is something I see a lot. It's like people try to go for plays when just like not really any numbers advantage, and it kind of just leads to more staggering and
Wait, can
snowballing.
we? Can I
This
pick
one.
one of the?
Okay. Ooh, let's look at this one. Okay.
I accidentally switched to bucket here,
Oh.
so I
Well,
honestly don't know what I'm doing with the weapon. But after this match, I decided to pick this up. So if there's any small things with bucket that you would know, that would be nice.
gotcha. It's okay. It's perfect. I came out of the hyperbolic time chamber, and I know how to play bucket now. AKA, I talked to my coach. The problem solved. Okay. I don't know what the Hydra was doing there, but okay. Nice. That's 2 down. Ooh, tough. Okay. Nice. Yeah, this Hydra's playing so aggressive.
They were just trolling us.
Yeah.
I could kind of tell. Not necessarily by the weapon picks, but kind of just the way they're playing. Yeah, nice. That's 3 down.
I
We
think
can get the
Hydra
Bella.
was on
Nice.
Ninja as well.
They are. They freaking are. Okay. Also, don't know why they're playing double screen. One screen's good. 2 screens is a like just a little too much.
We were like a silver plus team once I knew, and then
Mm.
there was only like diamond.
Oh. Well, that'll do it.
So it was just trolling.
What did the Hydra just fell off the map? Okay. I was like, what did they die to? Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay, the Hydra's on the flank of a sentry. Will they get it? No, they won't. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Ooh, nice. We're looking at the squeezer. Nice, nice. Squeezer drops for no reason. Makes sense. Yeah, that was a good crab. Okay, I won't talk too much about the defense, just because the defense kind of was just what I've been saying. You guys got out of it because you played together and waited for numbers advantage. So let's look at that offense you guys did because that was really good. If this thing will let me replay.
You
Start
can
over.
pause in this menu, I think.
I've tried. It doesn't let you. Once you get to the winning screen, you have to wait for it to finish the animation.
Damn.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Is this where offense started? Close enough. No, it's not. Well, we can just start from here. Okay. I did want to talk about this crab. So this crab's not bad. I think you kind of used it in a situation where like I kind of had to do something, right? And the squeezer's being dumb again. Okay. But if you had the chance, let's go back. Okay. Actually, let's see how you got into that scenario. I'm actually not sure. Okay, this is why you're in mid. Right. So once you're in this spot and you're trying to pop crab, do you see a better spot where you can pop it or use it? Because you can try to. So like the good thing about yeah. So the good thing about crab tank is like it has a lot of range, has a lot of AOE, right? It's like it's a Hydra plus a Expo at the same time, right? So you want to take crab spots in high ground. So this crab's like in low ground. If you had the chance, I think like you're kind of in a panic situation, so kind of makes sense where you popped it. But like thinking about it, it's like thinking about where you can pop crab. You can try to go top mid and pop crab there. There you have better sight lines on like the squeezer that's looking at you right now. The inkjet recall is a lot easier to hit from top mid than it is from this spot, and you can kind of pressure tower right for with the crab tank from top mid. Cause like yeah, I can see that you're going for the inkjet recall, and then you rotated towards that squeezer, and then the squeezer dropped for no reason. Right. But like if you're in top mid, you could probably see the squeezer a lot earlier. So what happens is like you can probably go for the squeezer, then okay, the jet recall, that kind of just happens. The Brella's there. But then with that crab, you could pressure tower from top mid. So just like things you can think about when you're using crab tank. It's like ideally you want to be on high ground. If you can't, you know, that it happens. But I think how you used it, honestly, there in that situation was pretty good. So nice work. The classic Brella matchup. Okay. Yeah. How? Oh, that's how we got the Brella. Nice. Okay. Oh, not what I wanted. Hold on, hold on. Wait. What happened? Okay, so get the Hydra. Or we don't. Oh, they went down to a bomb. Reslider gets Hydra. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let's go back to that situation. Okay. I like that we're like waiting here, right? We're seeing here there's 3 people there. I don't like that we're approaching this. It's a 3 I hope you understand why, right? It's a 3v1 right now. Uh oh good. Yeah. It's a little tough, but thankfully you can roll away, which was really good. And then like you're kind of just stalling here, which is like honestly the best value you can get because look, you're making a pincer play here. Someone on tower can shoot them at you, right? This is a really good stall. And even though you went down, the rest of your team cleans up, which is like, I'm not sure if that would have happened if you didn't approach that, but you know, it worked out in the end. I'll say that. And then this Hydra's just being stupid. Hi, Hydra. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I like that we see the squeezer early, right? The squeezer is like the bane of your existence, and then they drop for no reason. Uh, yeah. And then you get the slider, and then let's go back to where that crab was. Because I like that crab spot a lot. Let's go back to... Okay. Get the Hydra. Right, we did a double team on the slosh or on the umbrella. Right, and then the reason why this crab's so good is because nice, we get that guy. And then we're just holding so much space here. Right? Compare this crab to your first crab, or that crab I looked at on low ground, right? This crab has so much more sight lines to just clear whatever is in front of you. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Honestly, offense was pretty good. Very well played on the offense, I will say. Someone's calling me. Okay, I'll answer that later. Okay. I mean, hey, if they were trolling, you guys took advantage of it well. Like, I don't know what the heck that Hydra was doing, and the squeezer was questionable at best. Okay. This same group of people.
Um,
Do you
actually,
want to look at this
is
one or
there's
the humpback? Okay.
yeah, there's
Rainmaker
like a
Haggle's crazy. Okay. All right. Double roller. Interesting. It's okay. I hate playing tournaments or just anything during Splatfest. Also, just hate Splatfest. Get rid of this thing.
yes.
Interesting. Okay. Oof. Mm. That's what
Mhm.
I'm getting like a sense of right now too. I'm like, whoa, this person's here and the rest of the team's there. It's okay. That's kind of just how Humpback feels sometimes too, because of like the shape of the map. Nice. Okay, we get that guy. Unfortunate, but it's okay. We're still pushing. Mm. Mm. Nice. Mm, yeah, I mean, I'll go back to see it when we're going. I just want to see what happens. Let's see. Nice. Okay. I will say the comp is really annoying. Double bubble is like not fun to play against. Ooh, so close. Ooh, dang. Okay. That was a pretty close game though. Double
Mhm.
bubble is not my favorite thing to play against. I will say that. Sounds really annoying. Be like that sometimes. Okay.
Do rollers usually have good matchup against dualies actually? I wouldn't know.
Okay. Question. Why not Welshing here? Or
Um,
like were we just like testing out other things?
so I am more of like a just a tri-stringer player,
Yeah, fair.
and really, so originally tri-stringer is not the it's like not the best on humpback, but I haven't really experienced or tested Welsh string on a lot of maps yet. So I was like, I was just
Mhm.
gonna go tri-stringer here because I'm not 100% confident with Welsh string on some maps yet, so I just decided to go stringer here.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll say if you're gonna play Wellstring on this map, the Wavebreaker one I think is better.
Yeah.
That might just be because I'm biased, but Wavebreaker's just pretty strong on this map, and then Instapop is just very funny with Wellstring. um, I mean the Hammer one's not bad either. Hammer's pretty good on this map, but I just don't like Hammer as a special.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so just looking at the enemy comp here, right? They have a roller, they have a V roller, they have a Flingza, Edit, Junior. They're probably gonna get pop here. I was gonna say if you had a Welshing, I think you guys actually win the pop, but just because it is just a regular stringer, it's not as likely to win pop. So in general, for Rainmaker, I'd like to. I guess this goes back to like if we're committing for pot pop or not, right? You either commit to it or you don't. You never want to go in between because usually what happens is like if you have like two people maybe going for pop and then the other people like trying to paint for zone or like paint for like space, what happens is like, guess what? We lose pop because 4 people are going for it, or we get pop, but then no one can really push up with wow, with the ink pop gets you, right? You either want to fully commit to pop or not commit to pop, and that's a decision you can either say as a team before you even get into the game, or that's something that like, let me look at what weapons they have and then we commit to that. But once you make that call of we are going for pop or we are not going for pop, you just want to commit for it. Honestly, they don't even really commit for it either. So like, you guys get pop here, and then what happens is like the edit kind of like spaces you out. It's kind of tough because they have just a bunch of rollers that can shark everywhere. Yeah. I think here is pretty much when you just call your shot player to jump out and like play with the team, because they don't really get too much value here. Yeah, they go down. You guys thankfully get the Flingza, so it's like not a bad trade, but in general, I don't love dropping, or like I don't love being on the opposite side of the map of Rainmaker unless you have some type of special or your team is like okay, but like we can see in both that shot scenario and in this scenario with when we drop, it's kind of just like we're separating ourselves from the team too much. So like, yeah, the shot goes down, and then I think okay, so yeah, we drop here. Tough. Okay. Yeah, the junior was there to stop the crab. That's a good double. What is going on with their team? Huh. Huh. Okay, nice. Junior jumps out, okay. Okay, you guys are playing this not bad. You know, a little bit of a rough start, but it happens. You guys are like recovering pretty well here. I think the junior pops bubble, yeah. This is a good spot to hold Rainmaker. Oof. As I said, good place to hold Rainmaker. I kind of stay in this corner until we clear out that elbow. I know you're trying to get the checkpoint, which is fine, but you're not really in the time limit, right? You still have 46 seconds with Rainmaker. Your team just took one down. Like you approaching backup is not bad, but I'd approach that left side instead of going forward this way, just so you're farther away from the fight, but you can still throw Rainmaker shots in their direction, right? Like, I thought the roller was out of ink, but apparently they got enough ink. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind when you're holding Rainmaker, right? You don't have to rush unless, like, let's say your timer is running out. And Rainmaker's a really strong main weapon in terms of you get a lot of paint with Rainmaker, which is so unfair. There's no like worries on like just holding Rainmaker and just keep on shooting like the Rainmaker shots towards a certain like corner, right? That's like something you can do with Rainmaker. being able to stall is just a really good skill to do with Rainmaker. And then knowing when to push up is also really important, right? So just being patient with Rainmaker is okay. What am I trying to say? You can stall with Rainmaker until you are comfortable enough to move in there, because you can kind of tell that you weren't super ready or super comfortable to push in because like there's like ink there, or I saw a curling bomb coming out, saw like a roller maybe swimming around, right? There's nothing wrong with just like taking it slow and just putting Rainmaker shots towards like a certain area you want your team to move into too.
Yeah.
Okay. But you guys do get the checkpoint anyway, so like we take those. Okay. What happened? Oh, that's so unlucky. I was like, what happened with this crafting? I was like, this is such a good craft spot. That's fair. Yeah, juniors, are they running sub power up?
They have one sub power up, I think.
I was like, maybe it's because they're running sub power up, but I'm kind of surprised about that too. I think they just jumped to throw bomb and it just gave them the extended range.
Yeah. There's a thing with squid rolling.
Yeah. Okay. We're 3 down. Wail the rain, not a bad idea. I don't know what their Rainmaker's doing, by the way, so. Okay. Nice. We got a trade. Hmm. I didn't even notice that fight. Let's see how we got to that. Hold on a second. What exactly happened there? Okay, we approached because the Welshing or the Stringer's looking. Ooh, that's just unlucky. They kind of like turned around for you. Okay. Hmm. Okay, nice. Unfortunately, the Zuko went down. That's okay though. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Like, you guys are taking advantage, and like when I said when what we saw in the museum game, right? You guys are taking advantage of once you get into advantage states. Usually, when you get 1 or 2 down, that's when you guys are moving up pretty fast, and you guys are trying to push up. I'll say try to help each other push up. Sometimes you're going in alone, and that's when you're getting into that 1v2, 1v3 situations. And if you notice yourself in that situation, what I like to do is like super jump back to a teammate or like to someone who's close to me, and then we can reapproach as a team. That kind of takes a bit of time to like look at when you're doing that, but as you do that more, it's a really good skill to have to super jump back to your teammates or like to someone close by, because if you watch any like high level teams or top level teams, that's just something you see a lot. You're like, oh whoa, they're jumping a lot. And that's just to reposition themselves. Um, nice 2 down. Okay. I think this is where you. Oh. Hmm. Okay, we see the roller. Nice, we get the roller. That's a really good spot for Dynamo. We crabbed. Did we see this person in the rail? Okay. Yeah, this rail is like really important when you're pushing up. Cause even though the rail's not a good place to be in, it is an annoying place if they get into a good spot. I think you guys nice, we do get it. Okay. What happens here? Nice. Okay. Yeah. I like the attempt to get points. I will say that. I like the attempt that you try to do for points. But just because the lead was a little far, it was like tough to like bridge that gap, right? You can kind of see like you got so close, but like because they got Rainmaker so far, it might have not been worth it to run it, right? In that situation, I try to like wait for your teammates to respawn because I think you guys were all pretty much there, but then all went down at separate times. And like when you think about it, what if like you guys were all four there pushing the Rainmaker together, right? Because I think they were pretty staggered too. Um so again, it's Rainmaker's a tough mode because it's such a weird in between of like, okay, I need to go fast. But then you want to go slow because you want to make sure like we're like pushing together. But then you want to go fast because you want to get points, right? So Rainmaker's a weird in between of knowing when to go fast and when to go slow. I'd go slow if we're going in slowly for like let's say a longer push, right? That's usually why you go slow because you want that prolonged push to get like more points slowly. And then when you want to go fast are instances where either you can take lead right away, which I think you guys thought you could in that scenario, which was like, not again, not a bad effort. You guys were really close to it. Um or like let's say like the enemy team's like completely on the other side of the map, just take the Rainmaker and run it forward, right? Like what are they gonna do? Try to fight you? Well, like they can't because they're on the other side of the map. I don't know. They they were cooking something. But yeah, so like those are just scenarios that you can keep in mind with Rainmaker. Again, Rain's like a really weird mode because like you want to be going fast, but you don't want to be going too fast. Uh, I'll do like one more game and then we can call it. Again, like I think a lot of it came down to your guys' defense. And once you guys got out of defense, you guys were pretty solid on offense. Um I won't go too much into macro stuff or like micro stuff. I'll try to be more like team generic, but I'll say like in terms of mechanics, you guys are pretty good. There's just some scenarios where it's a lot of like decision making, right? You guys are in spots you want to be, but then you might be like pushing too fast, going too slow, maybe like purposely putting yourselves in a 2v1 situation. I think in general for all weapons, it's like, hey, do I have paint around me? If I don't, try to paint around you so you can have exit routes. Obviously not going to be all for all weapons, but just a general thing to keep in mind when you try to approach a specific like engagement or a specific position. Yeah, we got
I'll
one
probably do another one
more.
with Sawa because these only a few.
Okay.
This is not a great
Gosh.
match for that. I think this would be good.
Let me look at some of these. Yeah, let's look at this one. This one, right? Or no, it was this one, the Umami game.
Yeah, this would be good.
Okay. Gold Dynamo, interesting. Okay. I have not seen a lot of people play Gold Dynamo, so
I was trying to text him.
most Dynamo players play the cooler one, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Rainmaker. Oh, okay. No, we're not going for pop. Okay, nice. Mm. Mm. Okay, we jump out. Okay, let's go back to that defense, because oh, that's not even far enough. Okay, I think one thing you can keep in mind is like, so Rainmaker has to push like through this way, right?
Mhm.
That's like the tower. That's like the Rainmaker path. And guess what? There's a conveniently very nice spot up here that no one painted, where no one started going towards. Right? So that's usually my thought when I'm playing defense on this map. If it's like any mode that you have to push up, right? This spot, this new spot that they added for us, is a really good defensive spot because you have all sight lines over your court, you have sight lines over your snipe. But if you try to set up here, right, on the grates, it's tough because going backwards towards your plat takes a little bit of time, right? So like I kind of saw Luke go this way. I'm like, I don't know about that one. Right, but like as an anchor or anything that can like spam bombs, being up here is really strong just because you have all the sight line over this entire area.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're gonna go greats, I'd send someone who can flank fast. Like I'd send a shooter or one of the dualies that way because they're pretty fast in terms of they can get to spots easily without, committing too much.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the idea, right? I think you're trying to contest pop and stuff, but just being on that top or being on this side just gives you more holding power for this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you ended up having to jump out anyways. Okay, that's how they got it to 1. Let's see how the rest of the game is. Nice. Okay, good cleanup. We can take mid now, which we are doing. Unfortunate the edit gets the zap. Okay. That's a good crap spot. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. And then we're setting up the second push. Hammer. Nice. Oof, tough. Okay. I do have a question. Why did we not pick up Rainmaker? Well, I do know why we didn't pick it up. Because you guys had special. Or at least you had the hammer. I think that's kind of why we didn't pick it up right away. I would if you want to use the hammer, just call Sawa to pick it up. Right? I think, does Sawa go down here?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'd be really careful having your cooler player being like this aggressive without cooler. It's just like I hate to say it, but like cooler's so important, and you dying with it is just so bad. um, but like most of the times, I usually have the cooler player as the objective player, right? The cooler player usually you put down cooler, grab Rainmaker, perfect. You have cooler with Rainmaker now, right? Yeah, I was a little greedy, and then I think this was like an awkward jump because we jumped into the pit.
Yeah. I was trying to keep the cooler alive.
All good. I mean, it's okay. It happens. I think either way, like, I don't think you guys would have won off this, but like, it could have been points for you guys. Same thing here. We're going in for defense alone. We need to like try to like if I don't want you guys to. How do I describe this? For defense, it's really important to just be really patient. Don't play like you're never gonna move in defense, but try to play your max range in defense, right? Like try to extend your arm as far as you can, but still holding a space that you don't just die in. Um, I don't know if that made sense, but it's like you want to just use your max range, like throw bombs. Try not to approach spaces where, like, because they have rollers, they're gonna be sharking, right? So like before you approach enemy ink, just try to like paint over it before you approach, especially if you're a shooter or something that like can clear area pretty fast. You can just put a little bit of paint there, and if they're sharking there, you're gonna catch them off their shark. Um, right? Because like here we kind of just ran into where the roller was, which again, I think that just comes with time as you guys play defense better. I think something you can keep in mind also, like whoever your shot caller is can just be like, hey, wait for the rest of the team before we like fight, or try to paint for special, right? That's just very small things you can be doing on defense before you really commit to something. I in their spawn. Hey, I mean, hey, we take those. Honestly, flipping the map is kind of fun. I don't know why they let Luke stay there for so long too. Yeah. See, like we're kind of like this is not bad defense. We're kind of just like playing as far as we can without going into enemy like bad space, right? Like we're not just like feeding and trying to die. Unfortunately, the carbon gets past. That's okay. It happens. Oof. Ooh, tough crap spot. Mm. Nice crab. Okay, here I do wonder, did you guys know that like everyone was down, right? Like this is in theory like a delayed wipe, right? No one's in mid. You guys have I think 2 up right now. Is because like a lot of what's happening right now is like you go for pop, but then we're kind of not moving forward, right? There's like no. Okay. Okay. And then I guess like you guys were. I'm assuming you guys were worried like maybe the carbon was sharking or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
this is kind of why I like the Wavebreaker wall string. Cause guess what? You can just throw point sensors and you don't have to deal with that. Um.
True.
uh. Anyways, but like even without point sensors, right? This is something that as like a team we like to call out whenever I play with my team or just people I play with in general. It's like, where's the carbon? And whoever killed the carbon will be like, they're on respawn, right? They're on, right? Because they killed them earlier, so they can't be near the Rainmaker. And once we know that information, you guys took down the other 3 pretty close to each other, so you would know those 3 aren't around, right? It was just the carbon. Then this is where you just I want to say rush mid to paint, but just slowly paint your way back into mid, because the Carbon does have a lot of paint right now. Like, you know, they can be like here or here sharking. Thankfully they didn't get too far, and that's because they're off respawn. So that's just something you guys can keep in mind. Again, that's more of a, it's a very like micro thing, right? It's like thinking about respawn times, thinking about how we killed each person. Which, not everyone's gonna be thinking about. But you can call it out as a team, being like, did we kill this person? And if no one knows, slowly paint your way out. If you don't know. If you do know, okay, then you can just push forward and paint mid all you want. Right. So a lot of that just comes down to the communication of, do we know what's going on? Yes, we do. Okay, let's move forward. Or let's proceed with caution if we don't know. Fair. Well, you guys are only a quarter of the cooler. Oh no. And the cooler one that I'll say this. The NZAP player, they're pretty good at fighting, but they do need to be careful because they do have the most important special in the game right now. I know it sucks. I don't, there's a reason why I don't play NZAP anymore. No, I'm not playing Cooler Jail anymore. That's my new teammate now. I'm over it. Cooler is so boring. Sorry. Being the cooler player is boring. Do we see the guy in rail? Okay, we do. Okay. Ooh, it's a pretty good hammer. Yeah, makes one jump out. Clear space for the people to push up. Oof, Zuka. Yeah, I'll say this. You guys were playing defense a lot of this game. Which is, it happens. But when you guys are on offense, try to clear your squares. So like, I think honestly it's kind of at the end, but at the end you guys had a push going and you guys almost got to it, and then people were just sharking. Also another Splatfest tee? Is that what I see? Yeah, that's another Splatfest tee. Okay, no worries. Okay. Right, so like Luke using this hammer, really good. I'd use this hammer to go up here onto the snipe.
Yeah.
I think you were going after the Carbon, which was okay, because honestly, Carbon can't really do much to the hammer. And I kind of get why you didn't want to approach a shooter and then edit, but sometimes you just kind of commit to it. Because clearing that snipe area is gonna be really big for you guys to just sustain a push even more, right? Because that snipe area wasn't cleared yet, they can kind of just stand up there and throw bombs at you guys. And like that's kind of what the junior does. I don't know why they dropped, but that is what they did. And sadly they just had a Trisuka at the end there. But yeah, so like when you're going for offensive pushes, think about what's the next spot you want to be at, right? So like obviously for Rainmaker, it's gonna be pretty like obvious where you want to be, because like, just run the Rainmaker path forward, right? That's how it is. Same thing with tower control, right? There's a tower goes a specific way, so you have to clear specific areas before the tower gets there, right? In terms of like zones and clan blitz, that's a little bit different. Zones is, I'd say, the most like fluid in terms of like you can kind of do like go wherever you want in terms of offense. At least you can be wherever you want in offense, and you can still be pretty impactful. But then for defense for zones, it's really important to like clear those areas where you would think you would want to be on offense. You guys didn't have any zones games here, so I can't really explain that too well. But I'll say this. Okay, let's see. Clan Blitz Tower, Clan Blitz Rainmaker. Oh, there's one zones game. Lemuria is kind of weird. Hammer Zone, Hammerhead's kind of weird too. Okay, what are, oh, these are, okay, I was like, what are these games? Maybe I can show you guys one of my games. Let's see if I even like have one. Oh, you can see pencil gameplay. Oh, here. These aren't that good. You know what? We'll do like one of these games. I don't know, like if these are that good. Ooh, okay. Okay. I was like testing double cooler with my friends. So that's why we're playing pencil and NZAP. They were playing double cooler too, but I don't think they were really going for anything. But we were testing it because like we wanted to see like what Moonlight was doing. Right. So at least for the objective of my comp, right? You can see I'm the one painting for cooler and spawn, while our pencil's the one playing a little more aggressive. The reason for that is the pencil has a lot more range, right? So if the pencil gets as far as they can earlier, they can paint a lot more for the rest of our team. And then that's why I'm the one in the back painting for cooler first. So that's just the objective of this comp. Of like, we're just constantly playing for cooler. But yeah, we go down early, and then I kind of just try to hold and back up. So usually for Mahi zones, I like to play from left to right. Right, this is usually the flow chart of Mahi. Sometimes you drop right and then just keep going right. But that's usually like if you have, I'd say that's like a dually spot, right? You drop right when the rest of your team's going left. Not sure if we actually do that at all in this game, but it's been like a day since we did this. Right? Like we cleared out the closest area first, right? We saw, oh, that's a screenshot. We saw someone here, we clear someone here. We see people here, we clear this area, right? And once we have it cleared, then we just get a lot more space to play with. I do not know what that pencil's doing. Yeah, right. So like we're kind of just rotating around a lot. We're going from left to right, right to left, but we're always keeping our eye on the zone, first of all, and then we're keeping our eye on where our opponents are. So the reason why I go right side is because, okay, I trust my teammate to get that pencil. So I go right side because I know there's two there. And then we clear that tri-slosher. Then I'm told, hey, people are moving left. That's why I go back left. Right. And then we're just constantly keeping our eye on what our next target should be. So our next target is this 52 gal. We saw them earlier. We know they're still there. But then the tri-slosher drops. So I call it out. I think I trade here. We trade it out. So then we can focus on the forward positions where we're at. Yeah, right. We see the tri-slosher drop. Immediately punish that. Don't let him get away with that. And our teammates jump back to me because, hey, they're about to die. Let me reposition. Yeah, Mahi is weird because honestly, it's good for long range weapons, but then it's also really good for short range weapons. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
it's a good map.
I think it's a really good map. I feel that. I do hate when it's like not when the water levels don't drop yet. Like that's the most
Yeah.
claustrophobic map I've ever played.
Yeah.
Right. So for a lot of the time for like actually this might be easier if I use the Sendu planner. Let me pull that up actually. Sendu planner. Mahi Mahi zones. Wherever that is. That's Marlin.
It also saw your street.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pull it up on my computer first and then I'll transition to that. Wait, do they not have the water level drops? Oh. Uh-oh. That kind of sucks. Okay. So I guess I'll like okay, what would you guys play on this map? I think that might be better
Um,
to know.
if we had Zen, then it would be like Blue Apples. I would play like Dynamo. Um, Luke would be
Dynamo
I
or
think it could be
Incline
anything
Stringer.
fine.
Incline
Yeah.
Trainer? Okay, and then Dynamo. Where's Roller?
It's the third one.
Roller. Dynamo. Gold Dynamo?
Vanilla.
Or vanilla? Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I hate this map for dualies. uh, just because you can kind of just fall into the water on accident. Okay, so like I would assume Tri-String goes up here. Maybe like Blue Dapple starts here, regular dually starts here, and like Dynamo's just kind of hovering around you all. Like, honestly, I don't know how Blue Dapples would approach this. Maybe Blue Dapples here is better, but this is kind of like how I would think of like opening, right? You guys are all here. Ideally, the Dynamo may be getting cooler somewhere, and then you have cooler, right? Dude, I hate that it doesn't have the water level drops. Does it not have water level? It doesn't. Okay, well, right. So like the purpose of having dualies here is like you can either fight through zone or you can approach this corner if someone's there. If no one's there, you can just take it for free and get whoever's on snipe. Right. So like try to position where you think you can be the most impactful. Right. So that's kind of why I said the dualies here and then the blue dapples here isn't bad, just because blue dapples can kind of run through. And then Tri-Stringer, obviously on a snipe or a perch, can always do things.
Mhm.
On defense, I actually don't know how I would approach defense. Defense, this is a pretty underrated spot for like Inkers, but Inkers sitting up here is pretty good. Because you can like look this way. That's white. Okay. Let's do a different color. Is the red better? The red is better. Right, Stringer, like you can kind of look at these three angles.
Mhm.
And then I like to retake from this side, right? As a
Yeah.
team in general. So like I'd maybe okay. I'd maybe like send the dualies this way and you can pop a crab here. This is a really good crab spot. If it will show up. This is a really strong crab spot because you get sight lines on this, or if like you're over here, You can clear this area. Right, so it's a pretty good crab spot. I don't know where Dynamo would stand here, but maybe like over here or over here? I don't know.
If there's no crab tank set up, or like we don't have a crab tank ready, would it make sense for me to be on islands?
I think this is not a bad spot, yeah. This is not a bad spot or over here.
Yeah, like when the water level drops, of course.
Yeah. I hate that you can't have the water level dropped here because it'd be a lot easier to visualize because this area would be cleared. This is a raised platform. Crab here is not bad either if you can get to that before, or like if you can approach this or if you can clear it before using other things. And then like I'd kind of send the blue dapples to whatever they want to do. If I'm going to be honest, that's kind of how I think of blue dapples in general. Like blue dapples can kind of just like do their own thing. The important thing is just making sure the dapples player knows to tell you guys that they're going to be doing that, right? The flank doesn't do anything if no one is told. So if you guys have this set up already, I just have the dapples go this way. If you don't have it set up yet, try to get it set up until like so the blue dapples can go. And then if it goes awry, the blue dapples can drop this way to help this area. Right. So like the dapples has a very like free flow chart of like where they want to be going and where they can go. This is like a theoretical, right? Maybe like the stringer is up here. This is a pretty good spot if no one's around this area. And then you guys can slowly approach forward if like, oh my god, if you have like the spaces cleared, right? So it's like it's a very slow and like let's clear our square, our corner first before we approach something, right? That's really important on defense. On offense, hot take, maybe Dynamo over here. This sounds like really annoying.
Yeah.
And then like you have the dualies here or here, and like tri-stringers in this corner, poking people. Yeah. Yeah, crab. Yeah, crab like here or on this block when it's raised or like over here is not bad. Or if like you can crab up here, this is not bad either. Or on their snipe. Like honestly, these are all pretty good crab spots. Again, dapples do whatever they want, honestly. Honestly, I'm thinking of tri-stringer like pencil, but obviously it's not like that. But I think on this map it's not bad. Like this is a really good pencil spot because if you had a pencil here and like this is just like how I think about it because like that's the only inker I've played with recently. If you had a pencil here, pencil like can look at people up here, they can see people up here, they can see people here, right? And these are the three spots that teams will be dropping from. Right. So if you have sight lines, and that's kind of why I like put the tri-stringer there. Cause stringer here, I think stringer can hit this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like stringer can hit all three of these corners. And like if you know someone's there, you can just put pod shots onto them. And then if someone's trying to drop here, the dynamo's right here looking at them. And then if they drop this front area, guess what? There's a dapple and a dually that can drop in, right? Like so this is like I'd say this would be your ideal offensive positions. Obviously, this game is really fluid and like it's really unpredictable. So, you know, no one will ever be in perfect spots 24/7. That's unreasonable to ask people of. But just this is like a general flow chart of how you guys can think about it. It's like, you know, tri-stringer goes from snipe to like if you're on defense, okay, you're backing up, maybe go back up here, approach here, right? Just areas where you think you can be impactful with is just like I like to experiment a lot. So like, limit testing yourselves to what you can do with your weapon is always a really interesting thing to do. That's just my thoughts on it. Yeah, I mean, that's how you play Mahi. Okay, let's switch. Let me show you a better match, because that one was, we played defense once and that was kind of it. So I want to see if there's another game if we had to play defense more. Oh my god, we played so many games. 17-2, by the way.
Nice.
17-2, and I wasn't the pencil, which is like interesting. Honestly, this was not a bad game to where we had to play defense a lot. Yeah, same thing. I'm playing for the cooler early, just cause it's a lot better for whoever has more range to get more pressure. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So like we're in a really hard lockout, and then the reason why I drop is because I know that my teammate was zip casting up here, and I know no one's around here because we have paint there, right? And then the edit is looking towards this shot. So like our kind of approach here is just to, again, clear the thing that's closest to us. So we first see the gal gets our edit, we get the gal, and then the try gets us. Okay, we clear that, right? And all of this didn't really matter because guess what? We had cooler. So we're just reapproaching, and because we had cooler, we have the numbers advantage now because we can just push back in with cooler. Right. Clearing, I had cooler. I think I had cooler. No, I didn't. I didn't have cooler for that one. But we're just reapproaching really fast because we always have numbers advantage, and we're getting back into spots where we want to ideally hold. We tried to go for this top right, but we just couldn't. So we had to back up. Right, I called out this try slosher. I knew they were there. I just didn't want to approach because it was a try slosher. But then they completely backed off, so we reapproached with cooler. Right, we try to clear that shot, we get them, and we're slowly just inching forward together as a team. And that's just something you want to try to keep doing on offense, like slowly reapproach certain areas as a team, like together, because then you get a lot of crossfire, you get a lot of like you get a lot more 2v1s than 1v2s or 1v1s, right? You always want to be playing 2v1s because we're playing a team game. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing at the end there. Kind of yeah. Right. But it's like it's slowly making sure we're approaching together as a team, right? Because like if one person goes too far, they're either not going to be able to help you with crossfire, or they're going to get themselves in a 2v1 if it's a team that like calls them out right away, right? So it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's making sure we're moving together and we have the same idea. That's something I really emphasize with people I play with. It's like we need to have the same idea. We need to know what each other are doing. And that's why callouts are so important to tell each other, "Hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing this." Right? Try to communicate what your intention is to do. Cuz then the rest of your team knows what you're doing, and then you can either respond of like, "Hey, I can't do that," or "We're not there to help you," right? Those are just things that I like to keep in mind when I'm telling people what I'm doing. Yeah. All right. This was a yeah. I played Slosher, but like we are just kind of bullying people. Wait, we get Splatfest news. I already know who won. My team, like people kept DMing me while we were like going through the VOD. Like, congrats, Rice. Team Rice won. I'm like, woo.
Fire emoji.
Only
Oh wait, that's
team.
another fry one, right?
Let's go. Yeah, it is.
Another double fry.
I do have a weird question.
Yeah.
Um, but I use headphones whenever I'm playing this game, like the whole time. Every time I
Uh-huh.
play, everything I do, I'm wearing headphones. But I played Counter-Strike recently. I got
Uh-huh.
back into that whole thing. And obviously, audio is stupid important in that game. You hear footsteps unless you're walking, which slows you
Mhm.
down. And then I started using that more in Splatoon. I
Yeah.
was able to hear things behind me a lot more. Does
Yeah.
it make sense to go into other games like Counter Strike to get better at that kind of stuff, like with mechanics? Is there any
Honestly,
reason to switch
I
games?
don't think it's a bad idea. It's like that's pretty cool. I think audio is like super important in this game, and I hate that like you can't turn off music in game. Because like
Yes.
I feel like if you could, you can hear a lot more. But there are a lot of things in this game that you can hear, right? Um, like one of the best Splatoon 2 players, Brian, what he was known for was hearing people just sharking in the ink.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
Mm-hmm.
you can hear that, but because there's so much music in this game at least, it's a lot harder to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, audio is super important in this game, and then whatever helps you like train that, I think whatever that's really good. Um, you're
Bruh,
good. I mean,
at least my three.
I played until I got to champion. I was like, yep, fuck no, I'm not doing this anymore. All right. Well, if you want Slosher, wait, oh, I'm already wearing Slosher. This is my Slosher gear if you want to look at it, but
Okay.
I can send you VODs of Slosher. I like again, I recently did a VOD with my coach, and then he plays Slosher, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm very lucky that I enjoy the thing.
Slosher's fun. I like haven't played it for comp in a while just because like every team I've been on, we already like had someone either playing Slosher or wants to play Range Blaster.
Mm.
I don't know how people do that, but you know, the flick sloshes.
Like, I remember in some top level JP footage, I remember finding it was how one of the players would usually take their fight to the bucket
Mhm.
is they would slosh like from their right side to the left for their first slosh, and then that would kind of line up with where they wanted it, and
Yeah.
then they're already moving to the left side, and now their crosshairs to the left of the enemy, and then they would slosh to the right side of them. So they're still
Mhm.
using that kind of extra hitbox from the bucket.
Yup. Bucket is an interesting weapon. I'll say that. It's like I think I don't know. I just think it's funny. Some people are like Slosher's broken. It's like so hard. Like it's such a cheap weapon, and I would agree with that. But it's a really hard weapon to use.
Yeah.
It's not something you just pick up and think you can play.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for now, just because I need to answer that call. Someone was calling me. But yeah, general things for you guys to just keep in mind of is defense. Really important just to play as a team on defense. And then for offense to move, I mean that this is also for defense, but make sure you were moving together as a team. And if someone does get a little too far, make sure they know of that, right? If they're too far, sometimes you're a little tunnel visioned and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm completely away from my team." And it's okay when that happens. It's just important for everyone to know that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have any questions, just feel free to DM me or something. My DMs are always free, so yeah,
Good do.
of course, anytime. I will see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Are you the Marcus Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let me double check. Yes. Let me double check.